Okay, I'm sorry. My background is not good. So, eh, okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Good morning, everyone. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today is the third day of the second week of the International Virtual Course in Mathematics and Quantitative Method for Islamic Economic and Financial. For today, course will be delivered by Professor Novriana Sumarti, PhD, with the topic Introduction to Sukuk. For the first, I will read and share about the biography of Professor Novriana Sumarti. Oh, there's, eh, oh, I can share my, sorry. I'm sorry, I can share. Okay, thank you. Okay. Professor Novriana Sumarti, PhD, get her bachelor and magister in from ITB, and also Master of Advanced Studies from University of Cambridge, and her PhD in numerical analysis uh, in Imperial College London from University of London. Her research field are in numerical analysis, mathematical finance, actuarial science, optimization, and e-learning for mathematics. Uh, Professor Novriana Sumarti has a lot of work experience related to education and research, both domestically and abroad. Also, currently he is as a head of actuarial science study program, Faculty of Mathematics and Natural Science, ITB. During 5 years, uh, she has obtained 15, okay, uh, obtained 15 research 15 research grant from various institutions, and also has 7 intellectual property rights consisting of 5 books and 2 computer programs. She also active as a speaker in various activities organized by domestic and foreign institutions. Then during 5 years also, she has a lot of publication, 12 articles in international and national journal reputation, and also 15 articles in international and national conference proceeding. And now, without further ado, I will hand it over to Novriana Sumarti, PhD. For Novriana Sumarti, PhD, the time is yours. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Teh Fitriani, Bu Fitriani, for introducing me. I would like to share my presentation first. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning for everyone. It is the maybe the 8 days of our IVC, yeah, and then hopefully you all still have you still keep your spirit to doing the chores and to have the courses until the end of the IVC, inshallah. So I would like to share my knowledge about introduction to sukuk, which is usually commonly said as a Islamic bond, but maybe some scholars don't agree with the the name, the calling of Islamic bond. Sometimes it's not a bond. Sukuk is a sukuk, not a bond, or something like that. So I will share the the difference between bond and sukuk, conventional bond and sukuk. Before that, we we have to we will fresh our memories about the investment, yeah, and the objective of bonds, yeah. For example, business owners have a business and it goes for some period, and they think that the business runs successfully. Because of the business run successfully, of course, many many people want to have their product uh, globally. Yeah, if they have only in one country, and then they will think, okay, how to expand their business to other countries, something like that. But they don't have capital to expand their business, so they need to have additional equity, additional capital. Um, they they can they can uh, they can gather all of people, the rich people, and ask them to spend their money to their business. But sometimes it's not easy to convince them to have to invest in their business. Yeah. Uh, and because of that, the business owner will think, okay, if we gather the equity from the public, and then they will have the IPO. It's international public offering for the business, yeah. But this is for the stocks. They can issue bonds, yeah, bonds. So stocks and bonds basically are the public equity to add the capital for the business owner. Due to these additional capitals, the business owner can have expansion of their business. And what is bonds? Bonds are debt certificates issued by borrowers. It means that the entity that needs to have the additional capitals, usually in the form of companies or governments, to raise capital. So they need to have additional capital. So the it, I have to mention that this company or government is not new for this business. Yeah, so the companies has to prove themselves that they have run their company successfully, because they need to convince the additional uh, investor to spend their money they have to convince the public to spend their money to their investment. And hopefully, of course, the investor need to know what is the rate of return of this investment. So on the bonds buyer, so there's the bonds buyers give money and they will receive fixed interest rate. The fixed interest, this is the conventional bond that I say, yeah, I explain first. They will receive a fixed interest, which is called a coupon at a certain period. For example, every month or every year or every half year, then the money that the buyer give as a seller buying price will be returned at the end of the expiration date of the bond. So this is the illustration how it works. For example, when the investor or just we are as a public buy the bonds from the primary market. It means that the bonds issued first time from the companies or from the government issued for the first time. If the bonds issued for the first time, it means that the buyer will buy the bonds from the primary market. And then at each period, for example, monthly, every month, or every year, or every half year, the buyer of bond, or the holder, we can call it a holder of bonds, will receive a amount of money, which is called coupon. So it gives coupon, and the bond issuer will give coupon to the holder, and at the expiration date, the fund paid back. It means that the money that the buyer give to the issuer of the bond will be paid back, including the last coupon. How about if the investor of the bonds or the holder of the bond needs money in the middle of the period? They can sell the bond into the secondary market, and the price could be different. Sometimes it's always different. From the first time they buy from the primary market, and then for the price when they sell it to the secondary market. So it's mean that the money the holder spend at the first time is paid back. And who is the buyer of the bonds? The buyer of the bonds is the investor who buy from the secondary market. Because the new investor has the ownership of the bonds, they continue to receive the coupon from the previous owner. And then after that, they will get the fund paid back. Sometimes the fund paid back here, the amount of fund here is the same with the money at the first time. The money the first buyer give as a first time. So, or sometimes it's not the same. So it's depend on the type of the bonds. This is it is a long time ago. This is the example of the obligation in Indonesia. The worth of the obligation is 5,000 rupiah. And this is the certificate for 5,000 rupiah, which a small part of the whole amount of the obligation that they want to be collected. Here is 5 million, for example. So in the obligation is the same as the stocks or saham or share. They can have only part of the whole amount of the capital that want to be collected at the end of the buying period. And I just got it from the internet here. Uh, a government, Republic of Ireland, issued the bond certificate. This is $25. It was $25. And yeah, there's the word of the bond. And this is bond certificate issued by a company called GP Conning, for example. It worth $5, and it always said in the certificate how much is the collection of capital that we need to raise here. It is $20,000, and then it should be okay. And this is the other example from another company, Eastern Airline. It was $100 here, and there is a expiration date 2005, for example, and there is the interest rate will be paid to the holder of the bonds. Okay. And in Indonesia, we have ORI, Obligation Negara Retail. So now currently it's issued by Indonesian government, and then always the obligation in every country always be the attractive investment of option. How about sukuk? It is said in the first slide that sukuk is kind of Islamic bond. This is the example of sukuk issued by Al Marai company in Saudi Arabia. Oh, sorry, there's Saudi S here. There's a typo here. And in Malaysia, one of the sukuk is Sukuk Prihatin. It was issued by the government of Malaysia. And then in Indonesia, we have Sukuk Negara Retail. It is issued by Indonesian government. So what is difference between bonds and sukuk? Here, sukuk indicates ownership of an asset. Yeah. So sukuk should be backed by some asset. How do you mean by backed by some asset? So we will explain it in the type of the akad or contracts that was the underlying of the sukuk. Yeah. So it is ownership of asset. It means that it is more like the share, yeah, or stock, because share or saham, it is ownership. It said it is indicate the ownership of the share of the company as well. But bonds is not always said about the asset. It indicate a debt obligation. So bonds issuer can have issue some bonds with some amount of money, and it is said that I want to borrow. We want to borrow this money from the public, and we will return it as a coupon and at the end of the expiration date. That's all. And the second one is the asset that back sukuk are compliant with Sharia. Yeah, it should be compliant with Sharia. If the bonds backed by some assets may include product of services that are against Islam. So we know that, for example, companies with core business in alcohol or pork industry or something like that is against Islam. So, or yeah, or entertainment, something like that, it is not compliant with Sharia. So the assets should be compliant with Sharia. And the third one, sukuk are priced according to value of assets backing them. So if the asset is a building, big building, the price is according to the value of asset. But bond pricing is based on credit rating. It means that it's not depend on the asset that back the bond. And the fourth one is sukuk can increase in value when the assets increase in value. But the profit is usually is to fix interest. Sometimes the bond the bond can have the varying interest, but on the calculation of the interest sometimes is always can be included as a riba. And the last one, if you sell a sukuk, you are selling ownership or in the asset backing them. On the other hand, the sale of bond is only the sale of debt. So these are 5 important differences between bonds and sukuk. What is the sample of the use of sukuk? For example, government of Bahrain in 2004, in February 2004, announced launch of its first sukuk for 5 years. Yeah, and this al-ijaro is the type of akad or contract that we will explain later. And it was $250 million US dollars. Now the money will be the money was spent to extension of the airport. So it should be explain specifically the purpose of the sukuk, the purpose of the capital collection here. And the underlying asset was the airport land sold by an SPV, sorry, SPV, special purpose vehicle. It is the agent that issued by the issuer of the bond, the sukuk. The arranger of the sukuk issue was City Islamic Investment Bank. Yeah. So the SPV sold the sukuk through City Islamic Investment Bank. And the second example is in Malaysia. government of Malaysia issued also Sukuk Al-Ijaro to uh, to sell beneficiary right of land parcel. It means that the right to have benefit from the land. Yeah. For example, in Indonesia we have forest. The forest, the hak guna pakai, something like that. It can be sold by the government. In this case, government of Malaysia to an SPV, and then it will be resold to investor for 5 years. Yeah. The SPV kept the beneficiary rights to the properties interest and issued floating rate sukuk to investor. So these are the examples of the use of sukuk. So what is the type of sukuk contracts here? Well, first of all, we have to see that there are three parties involved in sukuk. First one is holder. It means that the people who has spare money to be invested, and it will be used to buy a bond. Sukuk. The issuer is kind of special purpose vehicle, and the industry is company or government here. What is the contract that uh, that permitted? In Indonesia, we have Dewan Syariah Nasional of Indonesia give fatwa. The contract will be mudharabah, ijarah, wakalah, musyarakah, murabahah, salam, and istisna, and others. I think others, there are others. But in Indonesia, we have a supervision of financial services at authorities jasa keuangan. Indonesia, they will supervise the service, the financial service for mudharabah, wakalah, and ijarah. What is sukuk al-wakalah? The sukuk uses the structure around the concept of wakalah. Wakalah, wakil, representative. Yeah. So issuer of the sukuk appoints a financial institution or entity as an agent, as a wakil, to manage and invest the fund raised from the sukuk issuance. It means that after the money collected by issuer from the selling sukuk, the money will be put it into a financial institution, and the financial institution have role as a wakil to manage and invest the fund. So it's mean that the financial institution doesn't own, I think this doesn't own the capital. They only manage and invest the fund from the sukuk issuance. So first, in entity seeking capital, originator established a special purpose vehicle, the SPV. SPV issues sukuk to investor or the potential buyer of the sukuk, and then SPV enters into wakala or agency agreement with the originator. It means that the wakil or the financial institution that will manage manage the money into the industry. So SPV still hold the assets or investment interest for the sukuk holder. It's mean that the ownership of the money is not given to the financial institution. The financial institution only manage the money for the sukuk holders. And the wakils should give SPV receive a specific amount of from the profit generated from the investment. The originator or wakil receive a fee from its investment management duties and any profit. SPV uses the amount it received to make periodic distribution payment. So it is similar to the coupon, coupon from similar to coupon in bonds, conventional bond to the sukuk holder. For we consider that this distribution of payment here is coming from the result of the investment. Should be coming from result of the investment, not only in the calculation of the percentage of the capital that given by the sukuk holder. But for the simplification, later I give you the calculation of uh, return of the sukuk with the fixed payment. But bear in mind that the fixed payment is not coming from only calculation from the capital, but the payment is result from the investment. So what is sukuk al murabahah? Murabahah basically in the sale of goods at price, and then in murabahah it will say what is the purchase price, and how much is the margin of the profit, and then they will agree upon by both parties concerned. So this is the sale contract, which is maybe it is the original of the sale contract on the akad murabahah. Sukuk al murabahah are certificates equal value issued by the purpose of financing purchase of goods. So there should be a purchase of goods through murabahah. So the certificate holders become owners of murabahah commodity. So the issuer of the certificate is the seller of the murabahah commodity, and the subscribers are the buyers of the commodity. Subscriber here is the same with the certificate holder, I think. And the certificate holder on the murabahah commodity, and then entitled to its final sale price upon the resale. So at the end of the expiration date of the sukuk, the commodity will be resale, and then the price of final resale there, it will goes to the owner of the sukuk. The possibility of having legally accepted murabahah-based sukuk is visible only in primary market. So in sukuk al murabahah here, it cannot be sold in secondary market because it's not permitted by Sharia. Why? Because the certificate here is represent a debt owning from the subsequent buyer of the community. So the certificates indicate the debt of the debt of the issuer, yeah, the issuer, yeah. So it cannot be sold in secondary market. But if the Murabba sukuk only a small part of the package, it means that it will, I will explain later. The Murabba sukuk is a small part of package in hybrid sukuk. It means that there are some akad or contracts involved in the whole sukuk. So it can be negotiable if we sell it in secondary market. So what is al-ijaro? Sukuk al-ijaro. Al-ijaro atau lease or lease is contract according to which a party purchases and leases out. So there is activity where a party purchase some good, yeah, or some an asset, and lease it out to other client. And there is a rental fee for this purchase lease out. The ownership of the asset remains with the lessor. What is the characteristic of the sukuk here? The sukuk al-ijaro are subject to risk related to ability and desirability of the lessee to pay the rental installment. So it is different from it different from differ from the bond here. When the rental fee is paid to the lessor, yeah, the lessor, the amount of money is not fixed, yeah, because it's depend on the ability and desirability of the lessee to pay the rental. It will be a risk here consider. And then, moreover, they are also subject to real market risk arising from potential changes in asset pricing. Yeah, because sometimes, for example, the asset that list out to a renter, yeah, the person who or the company who rent the asset, the asset maybe the asset will go decreasing price, for example. If the price of the asset decreases, so the rental fee, it can be decreased also. Yeah, it can be decreased too. So the expected net return of some form of sukuk al-ijaro may not be completely fixed and determined in advance. It may not be determined in advance, since there might be some maintenance and insurance expenses that are not perfectly determined in advance. There's specific characteristic of sukuk. But sometimes because we have in 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 simplification of the calculation, the return that will be gained by the holder of the sukuk or it can be called the coupon, yeah. In some example is fixed, yeah, but uh, in here should be not fixed because they're subject risk related to the real market risk. So what is al-mudarabah? Al-mudarabah means agreement between two parties according to which of two parties provide the capital, and the other one is as a entrepreneur who works with the money in investment. The profit will be shared between them, but in if there is loss, it will be borne by the capital provider only. If you can remember that mudaroba is different from musyarakah, yeah. In mudaroba, only one party give the capital and the other one work on this capital to, for example, uh, have the business, and then the profit will be shared between them, but loss only borne by the capital provider. The certificate holders own the asset of mudarobah and agreed upon a share of the profit. And here losses, if any, are borne by capital provider only. Yeah. Mudarobah suku give its owner the right to receive his capital or her capital at the time of sukuk are surrender, or we can say it at the expiration date. And annual profit up proportion of the realized profits as agreed. Annual proportion, it means that the coupon, yeah, coupon is similar to coupon that paid to the suku holder. In Mudaroba Sukuk, neither yield interest nor entitle owners to make claims for any definite annual interest. So it is the same with Al-Ijaro, the previous Sukuk. We cannot claim any definite annual interest. This show that Mudaroba Sukuk are like shares with regard to varying returns, which is accrued according to profit made by the profit. So once again, in Mudaroba, there is no fixed return, definite annual return, because the return from the investment can be varying. But in some cases, maybe yeah, there is simplification in practical, yeah, because it is maybe it is not easy to share some varying amount of money, because the report of the result of the investment should be uh, available first. After that, we can calculate the profit that will be shared. So maybe we are okay if there is a simplification with, for example, fixed coupon, for example, but should be the correction, or maybe correction whether the coupon is exact as the return from the investment, or or not. Yeah. So there is a fixation or maybe correction from the fixed return that paid annually or monthly, for example. So Mudaroba Sukuk must represent a common ownership and entitle their holder to share in specific project for which the Sukuk has been issued to fund. Here, on the expiration of the specific time period or the expiration date of the sukuk, sukuk holders is given the right to transfer the ownership by sale or trade the securities market at his or her discretion. So the holder of sukuk has right to transfer the ownership by sale or trade. And this is the hybrid sukuk. In hybrid sukuk, maybe there's or there are some akad involved in the portfolio of the sukuk. It means the asset and the akad contains the akad involved in not only one type of sukuk, type of contract. For example, murabaha contract cannot be traded in secondary market. But if there is sukuk ijaro, which is 51% of the pool in this hybrid sukuk, so the sukuk can be tradable, yeah, but only small percent, yeah, small percent. Not whole sukuk will be traded. Due to the fact that murabba receivable are part of the pool, the return on these certificates can only be a predetermined fixed rate of return. So return can be fixed or fixed also, can be fixed, but it is the predetermined fixed rate. And if we logically that the return is varying, it should be a correction of this predetermined fix. The correction can be reported to the holder. Okay, until here, is there any question from the participant? No question? If no question, I will continue to the calculation of the return of sukuk. Now is the mathematics of the total revenue and rate of return of sukuk. Here and the type of sukuk is, for example, al ijaro or mudaroba, ya. And for example, here the rate rate return rate of investment here I is predetermined, yeah, predetermined rate of return. For example, X is investment fund, I is predetermined return rate of on investment, P is given tax percentage, K is return or gain on investment per year. So return on or gain on investment is predetermined rate of return times the investment fund, and all the fund is subtracted by the amount of the tax one of the tax here. So the predetermined tax, predetermined return rate here is equal to the return divided by X times 1 minus P here. So, so we can predetermine the return rate from the previous investment in the same, for example, same business or same product here. So here is purchase in primary market. Here we have X is sukuk fund to be invested as a principal or capital. Y is total income of sukuk ownership. I is the percentage of ijaro fee per year, for example, yeah. So here the return is the return is the type the form of ijaro fee here, ijaro fee. And P is tax percentage. Big T is the length of sukuk period, usually 3 years in Indonesia. In SRE, ya, sukuk retail Indonesia. M is period of time holding the sukuk. Here, because we know that the holding sukuk is not always for the full of the length of the sukuk period, so we can say that we will calculate the period of time holding the sukuk here. Par price is the price of sukuk in accordance with the fund invested. So H0 equals to X. If the period of time holding the sukuk is the same with the length of the sukuk period, so total revenue is the same with is in this formula. So Y total income of sukuk ownership is X sukuk fund to be invested or the principal times the total percentage of ijaro fee times the length of the period holding the sukuk, and we have deduction of tax here, So this is the amount that will be received by the holder of the sukuk, and at of the end of the expiration date here, the holder will get the money back here, X, the sukuk fund to be invested. So this is the simplification of this formula. And then rate of return, of course, is we call it R here, is the total revenue minus the capital here, divided by the capital given by the holder of the sukuk. If the holder of sukuk need money in the middle of the period, they can he or she can sell the sukuk in the secondary market. For example, the holding period is only B months and H days, yeah. But of course, M here, the holding period is less than the expiration time here, expiration period of the sukuk. In the secondary market, the price it's not the same. Sometimes it's not the same with the original price. We call it premium if the price in the secondary market is more expensive than the original market. And if the condition is at discount, it means that the price of secondary market here is less than the original price. Why it can be cheaper? Uh, if it is expensive, it is maybe we can. Oh, okay, it is common here because we have asset, and then the asset will be uh the price will be increased, for example. But sometimes the price in secondary market is cheaper than the original price. It depends on the condition of the economy here. It can be seen, for example, when the economy is in crisis. In crisis, the money held by the public is less than the amount that needed for investment. So it's mean that there is a trend that the people need money as soon as possible. If the people need money as soon as possible, and the price will lower here. So that's the economy works. For example, XP is capital gain from the price. So HM is mean that the price at time M here equals to X plus XP capital gain. But the capital loss from the price is X plus XD, for example, with XD less than 0. If XM equals to X plus XP, it means that in the premium price in the secondary market, total revenue is pretty much the same with previous one, but uh, uh, we consider the home how long the sukuk kept by the holder. Here there is the period is B months and H day. So B equal 12 because it is yearly, yeah. Just B equal 12, and it deducted by the tax. And the second one is the return for additional days from the period of keeping the sukuk here. So H here, the days, uh, the the remaining days divided by 365. So it is the 1 year, yeah, days in 1 year. And of course, we can, for example, modify here. Why is 365? Why we just put the total days in working days. So working days is less than 365, for example. Yeah. But in this example, we just simplify this one. This 1 year is equal to 365, and there is a deduction from the tax. And here we have the capital gain, which is also should be deducted by the tax. Yeah, this is capital gain from the selling the sukuk in the secondary market, and this is the the capital return by the sorry. Okay, sorry. So XP. So here is coming from the price, yeah, the price of the in the secondary market. It so the capital gain should be deducted from the by the tax first, and then sum up with the original capital. So this is the simplification of the formula. And how about if the price from the from the secondary market is less than the previous one? Yeah, there will be capital loss from the price. So it is the same. The first and second part is the same. It means that it calculate the return for how long the sukuk is kept by the holder. But if at the end, these two term here is represent the price of the secondary market, we can see that the capital loss is not deducted with the tax because it's already negative here. It's already negative. XD is negative value. So there's no tax here. The tax is taken from the return monthly received by the holder. So rate of return R equals to Y minus R divided by X here. If we have the purchase in the secondary market, so the remaining time, for example, we set it K here, should be less than the original length of sukuk or the expiration length of sukuk. For example, K equals to B months and H days. So the remaining length before the expiration date of the sukuk is B months and H days, for example. So total return is pretty much the same, yeah, pretty much the same. Here, this is the return, or we can say the coupon will be received for the remaining period. And at the end of the expiration, the holder will receive the original price of the sukuk here. So rate of the return is Y minus HK is mean the price at the secondary market divided by the capital that given by the holder, which is HK. So that's the rate of return. So these are only the example of those calculation. Is there any question until up to here?
Excuse me.
Yes, please.
Brianna, I want to ask about this is a secondary market and primary market. So the institution like government, then he offer the sukuk to that is, I'm sorry, I forget that Islamic bank. What that is? We can say that is the purchase in primary market. Then the bank when sell to the holder that is in the secondary. Is that right? Or
No, no.
maybe mana?
At the when in the primary market, the sukuk holder buy the sukuk from the SPV, yeah.
Oh,
The SPV will give the right to sell the sukuk through the banks. Yeah.
oh,
So at the first time when the sukuk issued for the first time, they will sell through the bank only. Yeah. And then when we want to sell the sell the sukuk in the secondary market, they can sell it through the bank as well. Yeah, it is the same. The first market and the second market usually we the medium is the bank. Yeah, the medium is the bank.
the medium is
The intermediary again is the bank. Okay.
so in the calculation at the leisure presentation that HK2 that we calculate by the primary the one slide before the less
Okay. If we want to have the sukuk in the
written that the written for secondary calculation for secondary market is that
yeah.
that return is R equals Y minus HK. This that's HK that we calculate from the calculation and purchase in the primary market the before or
Yes,
what?
if if the price is the same with the original one, for example, usually it is set in percentage, yeah, percentage from the original price. If the HK is the same, oh, okay. In the you ask about the primary, yeah, the primary market here. The primary
Uh,
market, yeah, Y equals to X here. X the H0. X equals to X0. Yeah.
oh yeah, but if we want to purchase in the secondary, that the X is HM, but M diganti by K gitu ya. Bu?
Yes.
Oh,
HK means that K is the
oh,
remaining time, but M here. Yeah, this is only the symbol, yeah, symbol
yes,
that I put
yes,
here.
yes,
So yeah, HMM here is the period of time that the sukuk held by the holder. Yeah, kept by the holder here. Yeah, why is K here, not HM, for example? Yeah, why it's K, not why is X here? Why not HM? If you wonder, yeah, because in the calculation of rate of return, we always subtract the remain with the capital. Yeah, this is the capital of the holder. And this is also capital. Capital is mean that the money that spent by the holder at the first time, at the beginning of the beginning of the beginning of the ownership of the sukuk. Yeah. So because in the because because here the holder bought the sukuk in the bought sukuk from the primary market. Yeah. Yeah. For example, X is the sukuk fund to be invested principal at the primary market here. It means that this is the amount that spent by the holder at the first time. At the first time. Yeah. At the end, at the end, the uh, the 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 calculation of calculation of return, calculation of the total revenue contains also the secondary market price here. Yeah, it is secondary market price here. Yeah. So the secondary markets is not the capital of the holder. So the calculation of the rate of return is deducted from the total revenue minus the capital. It's different from if the person bought from the secondary market at the beginning of the ownership, the second and the people here gives money the first time is HK, not X here. Yeah, because this is capital. It's mean that the money that's spent by the holder to this sukuk investment. This is the capital. So the rate of return is R equals the total revenue minus the capital divided by capital. That is the rate of return. Rate of return.
Okay, thank you. Maybe that participant, there is a question to Professor Novriana Sunati. You can raise hand and you can say directly to Professor Novriana Sunati, or you can write your question in the chat in Zoom. Okay, maybe oh, there is in the I don't know, maybe I forget in the slide 14 there is a difference between sukuk and
Bonds, yeah.
yes, in the first, I think in the first, let's say that sukuk the not just sukuk indicate ownership of asset so that the holder uh, get the asset, but bond is just like the maybe just the what is this contract maybe, but that is very different with share, yes, because different with Cherny is because the sukuk in the long term or what. And I can maybe you can clearly explain about sukuk can increase in value when the asset increase in value. Profit of bond corresponding to fixed interest making them riba. Maybe you can explain again. So I
Okay.
still confused about that number also. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Bu Fitriani. So The first one, sukuk indicate ownership of an asset. Ownership is mean that the asset will not given to the holder. You can imagine if the asset is a building in Jakarta, for example. So, so the asset will not given to the holder. For example, I buy
Yes.
I buy the sukuk and then wow, I
They
own
get the
the building
building.
here. I can have party over there every night, for example. No. It's mean that the ownership, it's mean that the right to own the asset. It is the same the stock or the share. Is if we buy a share, a stock or saham, yeah, in Indonesia or Malaysia, saham or share, it's mean that we have a portion of ownership of the company. Yeah. For example, I buy IBM stock, for example. So have I have a portion of ownership of the company, IBM company. What that's mean if I have ownership? It's mean that if the company some in one day have very big profit, for example, very big profit. So the company will share the profit to the owners of stocks. In the form of dividend. Yeah, if we talk about stock. In the form of dividend, it means that at that time the company gain very large of portion, sorry, very large of profit, and they want to give it to the owner of the company. Yeah. So as long as the holder of stock own not sell the stock, they receive the dividend. Yeah, receive dividend. Uh, and how about bond? Sorry, how about sukuk? How about sukuk? Sukuk here is also ownership of an asset. But the dividend here is promised every month or every year, for example. Is different from the stock of company. They cannot promise to give the dividend in every, for example, year or every or for half year. Yeah. But in sukuk or bond, yeah, it's sukuk. If we own them on the if we own the asset, so the usage of the asset is mean that the profit coming from we we take benefit from the asset. For example, the asset is rent to some offices over there. Yeah, for example, the office in Jenderal Sudirman is this big very famous street in Jakarta. Is business offices there. So the is a quote unquote dividend of the asset is paid regularly here in Sukuk. Yeah, that's different from the stock. Yeah, the ownership is the same, but the dividend here is can be promised, but the amount of this quote unquote dividend here for the sukuk can be varying. But I have said that uh, we can have the predetermined rate of return. So we can say that the dividend, the quote unquote dividend here is fixed, but actually in the calculation is not fixed. In bonds, we just here just debt, the transaction of debt only. It means that one person give money, give loan to another person, and the borrower of the money should give back the interest for every month, for example. Whatever the condition of the economy there, the borrower should give the fixed coupon. Yeah. So that's it's mean that if we can say in the fourth difference here. For example, if the building in Jenderal Sudirman Street, yeah, Jenderal Sudirman Street, Indonesia, is very high in value, and sometimes the economy is good, and the price of the building, for example, is doubled, for example. Yeah, doubled in, for example, in 3 years. The sukuk the sukuk that give the annual coupon, yeah, I can say it coupon, yeah, but coupon is this coupon is different from the conventional bond. We can say the similar form of coupon here is varying because of, for example, the price of the building is doubled, for example. So sometimes the holder of sukuk can, oh wow, I have also have some so doubled coupon amount, for example. Yeah, that's the theory. Yeah. That's the theory that if the asset increase in value, it reflected into the amount of money that receive periodically. But it's different from the conventional bond here, because in conventional bond is whatever is the situation of the condition of the economy, whether the building is doubled in price, or even if there is a demo there, then there are many damage because of demo. So the value of building, for example, is decreasing very badly. The holder of the bond always have fixed interest. Yeah, for example, yeah, the 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 holders of bond only get a fixed interest whatever the condition of the asset, because there's only because the bond is only instrument of debt, yeah, debt obligation. If you have obligation to pay a debt, so they so the borrower should give back the money and also the interest and fixed interest. So if we know that if we have fixed interest in respect to the capital or the loan, the amount of loan given to the borrower, we call it riba. Yeah. So I think that's the explanation.
Okay, thank you for the explanation. It's very clear now. Okay, there is two question in the chat box. For the first from Arina Rida. Assalamualaikum, Prof. I want to ask a question. How does the risk sharing mechanism in Sukuk benefit both issuer and investor compared to traditional debt instrument?
Yeah, maybe I have explained with the difference, yeah, with difference between sukuk and bond previously. So risk sharing here is whether whether the value of the asset, for example, doubled, yeah, if doubled, or maybe the value of the asset is decreasing badly, for example, it should be reflect on the uh, quote unquote coupon that will be received by the holder in every month or in every year, for example. Yeah, it should be reflect on the amount of the money, yeah, received by periodically received by the holder. So that's the resharing here. So the holder got get resharing from the issuer of the sukuk. Yeah, they share any they share any, for example, profit, or they share only loss for the asset. But it's depend on the akad as well, yeah. If the akad is, for example, only al ijaro, yeah, it means that the leasing, sometimes the leasing is only fixed, yeah, fixed. But leasing in Islamic instrument, Islamic Sharia financial is can be varying as well. Can be varying, not always fixed. So if we compare to the traditional debt instrument, we can see that if I owe, for example, 100 from you, and it is said that the interest rate is 10%. So whatever the condition of my business, I have to pay every month, for example, 10% of 100, for example. Yeah. Whatever I gain so much successfully of in my business, or maybe I have the crisis of my business because of the crisis of the country, for example, whatever the condition, I have to pay 10% of 100. That is the traditional debt instrument. Yeah. So there is no risk sharing there. There's no risk sharing. In sukuk, should be risk sharing mechanism. It means that if I issue a sukuk, yeah, for example, I have a very big company and I issue a sukuk for my company, and then the company run successfully, and then, for example, I have the ijaro. It means that the leasing, I rent the building uh, of my office through the sukuk. So it should be reflect on uh, the rental fee. Yeah, rental fee. If I run successfully, so it's okay if I raise the rental fee. Yeah. On the other hand, if my business condition is very bad, so I can, for example, ask whether the rental fee is decreased, or sometimes is I exempt from the payment of the rental fee, for example. So the rental fee is the form of coupon here, coupon from of the sukuk. Okay, that's all. My answer for Urita, Reorita. I hope you satisfy with my explanation.
Okay. In the second, Wahyuning Nurniati. Assalamualaikum Ibu. You explained
Waalaikumsalam.
some contracts that underlie sukuk issued. Is it a possible that all of these contract can underlie sukuk issue in the real world? What are the challenges faced by sukuk itself to be able to survive in the development of other financial instruments?
Okay, thank you. Maybe Mbak Wahyuni can answer herself because the topic of the topic of her PhD is sukuk. Okay, I can give some answer here. So it is about underlying sukuk issuance. It means that the asset that underlying the sukuk, yeah. Is it possible that all of these contracts can be underlying sukuk issuance in real world? It means all of the. Is it possible that all of this contract can be underlying sukuk issuance in the real world? Do you mean by the all of these contracts? Contracts is, for example, mudarabah, musyarakah, ijaro, yeah, salam, istisna. That is the contract, yeah. So this contract can underlie sukuk issuance in the reward. Of course, if you said that sukuk has been used in the real world, is of course because we have sukuk issuance in real world. We have, for example, I show you the picture of example of sukuk. It's been that all the sukuk, all of the real world is can be sukuk. Yeah, I have optimism that we can have sukuk in issuing of our investment. Yeah. So what is the challenge faced by sukuk itself to be able to survive? The challenge is, for example, the trust. Yeah, the trust from the potential buyer, and the trust from for example, uh, the trust from the trust from the government, for example, to see that it is real Sharia that we can apply here. Yeah. So if we can have we have a very real pure Sharia, and then I have optimism that it will survive, eh, other than the conventional financial instruments. Yeah, because it is there is a asset back instrument. If you don't have we don't have assets, so we cannot say anything. Yeah, if you don't have asset, so we cannot have this instrument. So we cannot arrange something based on no asset. Yeah, because if we buy, sorry, for example, if in logic thinking, for example, if I want to borrow some money, but I don't have any asset that I own, so in the bad situation, I cannot pay back the loan. Yeah. because I don't have asset that I can sell to pay back the loan. Yeah, that's the simple example. But if I have an asset, I have assets, so many assets, for example. It is okay if I need money to for example have some party for the wedding of my children, for example. I have assets, so for example I sell some asset uh, to to pay the expenses of our activity, something like that. So, for example, the wedding of our children. So it is in Sharia economy, it is very important to have asset, yeah, because we invested in uh, ownership of asset, and if we have very high value of asset, yeah, for example, the building in the famous street in Jakarta, for example, Jenderal Sudirman Street. So we can rent the building, or we can not directly lease out our building, but we can create a sukuk based on the asset. Yeah. So if something happened to me, something happened to the company, and we cannot pay back the money that we collected at the first issuance of the sukuk, so I can sell out the building first. Yeah. So I can. So that is I think is insurance in the insurance in the logical logical thinking, yeah. If I have assets, so I can sell it when I need it. Yeah. Yeah, I think my explanation to Mbak Yuning, hopefully it is satisfied.
This is from Mama Yuning. Thank you so much, Ibu. I consider why the Ijarah become popular and not other. So maybe there is special reason why.
Yeah, because in Ijaro is it's like rental, yeah. Is leasing out a building. The profit from the leasing out is rental fee, yeah, rental fee, and the rental fee is fixed, yeah. Rental fee is in fixed amount. Every uh every lessor need to have assurance how much money that I have to pay every month, for example. So I can run my business safely, for example. I can run my business in assurance that I can pay some fix of money. If we have other contract, for example, mudarobah or musyarakah, yeah, the there's no rental fee, yeah. The pay the return that I have to pay is fluctuative, and uh, it will be nightmare for the issuer of the sukuk if I have to pay much higher than previous one. Yeah, because how can I have the additional payment, additional money for the for pay for example higher sukuk, yeah, sorry, higher coupon for this month, for example. Yeah. So because in Ijaro the payment is the form of rental fee. Yeah, rental fee is sometimes fixed, but I know that in Sharia, it's not all. Is In Sharia should be not fixed because it reflects on the pre-sharing. But if there is no if there is no extreme changes in economy, so the rental fee will be fixed. In the extreme situation, when the economy, for example, we have pandemic, COVID pandemic, something like that. There is a extreme. There's the example of extreme change of economy. So maybe the rental fee will be reflected, will be reflection of this change of extreme economy. Yeah. But for example, with the steady state of economy, the rental fee usually is not varying. Okay, thank you.
Okay. There is another question from Ibu Endah Putri ITS. Hi Bu Nofri, I would like to ask about the growth rate of the investment in Sharia finance. How can we calculate the growth rate? Thanks in advance.
Okay, growth rate of the Sharia finance. Actually, the in mathematically the same with the conventional one. It's mean that the growth rate is mean that the situation now compared to the previous one. Yeah. So for example, the profit uh, gain today minus profit gain yesterday divided by the gain obtained yesterday. Mathematically is the same, but in Sharia, of course, the gain is different. It's coming from the different part of part of different part of uh, division. Yeah, part of a division. In the Sharia finance, the gain should be coming from the profit from the investment. Yeah, profit from investment. So it can be varying in every time we calculate. But in conventional one, we can see that the gain, yeah, sometimes it's varying as well. But sometimes if we have investment only on, for example, bond, for example, there is a fixed interest rate that can be obtained from the conventional bond. Yeah. So the calculation is the same, but the amount, the value is the same, maybe the same, but the 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 originate of the value is different. Yeah, it's different because in Sharia we have to know about the return from the investment first, and after that we share the profit to for example the sukuk holder. Okay, thank you, Bu Endah. I hope my explanation is satisfied.
Okay. There is any question again? Okay. Maybe.
You're welcome, Bu Enda.
Okay. Maybe you can say some closing statement before we oh gosh, before we end this session, this course, pun Professor Novian.
Okay. Actually, I haven't finished my
Oh, I'm
slide
sorry.
because because yeah, this only in the example here, example
Oh,
of
yeah,
how to
yeah, yeah.
calculate the return,
Okay, okay,
return
okay. I'm
of
sorry, I'm
the
sorry.
and revenue here. So for example here, oh sorry, here for example, an investor bought retail sukuk in the primary market, and it will cap for 1 year and 3 months. Here, the selling price of the selling price is the form of percentage with respect to the original the beginning of price, yeah. So this 102%, for example. So it means that the price is higher than the previous one. And the second one, for example, the the price is lower than the previous one or previous amount. It means that the price is in discount. It is said that the retail sukuk price percentage, for example, is 98% from the previous from the original one. And this one, the second one, for example, if the sukuk bought from the secondary market, and the remaining period is 23 months and 26 days, for example. So we have to put it into year, for example. So we can have the total revenue here. So as the as the reference is sorry. So I have published a book in Matematika Keuangan Syariah, but in Indonesian language. And second one is very new from the oven, yeah. It is published in JIMS, yeah, in Journal of Indonesian Mathematical Society, with Mbak Wayuningsih and Ibu Dila. And the third one is from the internet. So that's all. That is my presentation of about introduction of sukuk. Hopefully we can have some more knowledge about this one, and hopefully we can have more understanding about Sharia investment of sukuk, and hopefully we can have progression in sukuk investment in the future, and we have many scholars who have research or in the business in Sharia investment. Okay, thank you, Ibu Fitriani.
Okay, thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you. I'm sorry before. Okay. Thank you, Professor Noviana Sumati, for answering the question and for your wonderful presentation. I would like to thank you for everyone for participating in this today session, today course. Then I would like to ask the uh, audience to open the video or the picture. Take a picture, please. Uh, we have two slides. Okay. If there is anyone who want to open the video, okay. If there is not, we will start to take a picture. There is 1, 2, 3 for the first slide. And next to the second slide. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Professor Noviana Samarti, for your course today.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay, thank you. Oh, I'm sorry.